My parents split up a few months ago. My brother and I moved into a condo with my mom,
Hey, sunshine, how was your night?
and my dad lives alone now.
Hey.
Hey,
It's rough. I'm sorry.
I haven't gotten to the rough part yet.
The film is sort of based on a lot of stuff that happened in my mid 20s that I guess I had been thinking about for years. It happened in kind of like a very particular time in my life, which was like when I was trying to figure out what the professional life of being a real filmmaker even means. Trying to get out of my parents' house, all of that stuff. And then my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's around that time, right after my parents split up. So it was like a lot of these things kind of all hitting at once, right? When you're supposed to kind of figure out what it means to be an adult, right? But I hadn't seen a movie that I felt like really kind of captured what it's like to be a young person from the suburbs trying to figure out their life here, right? And I don't just mean that in terms of like the sort of like journey in, like into downtown from Scarborough and all of that, but a lot of the little things that kind of make life harder when you're from the suburbs or when you're a brown kid from the suburbs was stuff that I felt was kind of relatable to a lot of people who live outside or just on the outside of major cities where, you might as well be from another town or another state because that distance may be short in terms of kilometers. You can see the skyline, but you're not that connected to the arts community or to the power structures or the money of the city. And so that distance feels, gigantic. I'm not trying to make like an overtly political film. These are things that kind of those of us that grew up in Rexdale or grew up in Scarborough just kind of had to live with. But I guess there is a critique in there of, you know, who the city values and why things are built the way they are, right? Like looking back at my sort of youth now and like having to like, make sure we got on that last train home and all that kind of stuff. It just seems kind of silly that last call was 2 a.m., but the subway shut down at 1:30, right? So like that kind of tells you who they're actually thinking about when they build these systems. Now I think that's way harder because of cost of living and things like that. Now I think it's almost impossible to do what I did, which is like I was a waiter like 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and I could pay my rent, right? And try to make my first movie on the side. Like I don't think that that's possible today. So if anything, I think the city's making it harder for artists. It's making it harder for racialized artists, artists from the ends. Like I think we're going to have to work even harder now to make sure that people from these communities who want to make films and make art have some sort of like avenue to do so because grinding it out the way you used to in the old days is just like not possible anymore.